guys, welcome back to my channel. Breezy here, obviously. So today I wanted to make a video about how I got into medical school. The path is very different for everybody, especially across different states. I personally live in Texas, so we have some stuff that's specific to us that other states don't have. For example, the match system, and I'll go over that a little bit. But yeah, so let's get started. So the first thing that people always ask me when I tell them I'm going to medical school is, oh, how long is that? It's 4 years long. So you go to high school, you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you get your bachelor's, so a 4-year degree, and then you go to medical school, which is 4 more years for just the MD or the DO, depending on your program. If you want to do a dual degree program, those are available in a lot of schools. You can do MD PhDs, MD MBAs, MD MPHs. There's all sorts of things that you can do. And you can combine your degrees, and certain schools offer certain programs. Not every school has every program. So when you're choosing a school, keep in mind what kind of things you want to do. If you want to do a lot of research as a physician, you might be interested in an MD PhD program, so pay attention to some schools that have that, because not all of them do. It's like a 7-year long program. But that's just one example. So after that, yes, you graduate from medical school and you are a doctor. However, you're not licensed to touch anybody. But after that comes your residency, which is where you specialize in whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to be a cardiosurgeon, if you want to be a pediatric doctor, if you want to be a neurosurgeon, the list goes on and on. And those lengths of training time vary amongst different specialties. For example, neurosurgery is a 7-year long residency, whereas general surgery, I believe, is a 3-year residency. So that's another thing you need to consider when you're choosing a specialty if you want to go to medical school, unless you already know. But most people get to medical school, think they know what they want to do, and then change their mind. So yes, and then there's another option after that. So after you complete your residency, you're free to go work. You can start a practice, you can work in a hospital, whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to be more competitive, or if you want to specialize further, you would do what is called a fellowship. And again, the lengths of time that those, cover are different for whatever specialty it is that you're doing this fellowship for. So for neurosurgery, you can specialize in certain kinds of operations. For plastic surgery, you can specialize in only doing surgery on somebody's left hand or their face on the right side. You can specialize in ridiculously specific things. The training is endless. So back it up a little bit. What do you have to do before you get into medical school? So yes, you have to get a 4-year degree from a university. Not a community college, because you can't get a 4-year degree there. Obviously, you can get an associate's, it's not enough. You can major in whatever it is that you want. If you want to be a dance major or a music major or a history, whatever, you can do that. However, there are certain prerequisites. I think, I could be wrong, I think 47 hours or so of prerequisite courses that you have to take. And it's not specific courses, but you have to take so many hours of biology, so many hours of chemistry, blah, 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 blah. And I will list those right here for you. And they do vary across different schools. So this is a general idea that I have out for you. Look into the schools that you want to go to if you have any sort of idea. And make sure that you knock out the prereqs that you need. Otherwise, they're not going to look at you at all. Those are required. While you are getting your degree, whether I did it in high school and college, and you'll find that pretty much every applicant does, you need to be getting shadowing hours, clinical time, volunteer hours, letters of recommendation, good grades, take your MCAT, all this stuff going on at the same time. So volunteer hours, stuff that I did was I volunteered in a hospice office. I did administrative work. I used to wrap presents at the police station during Christmas time to donate to kids whose families lost everything. Car washes, whatever. They can be random stuff. Community service. They look for all this stuff. As long as you're giving back your time to the community, they look at you as, I don't really know, actually, a good human. But clinical hours is super duper important. So you need probably at least 200 hours of shadowing. You have to shadow doctors, because that way the medical schools and the acceptance committees, whatever they are, know that you actually know what it's like to be in a medical environment. You don't have this off-put dream of, oh, I'm going to be a doctor someday and this is how I imagine it. It's not what everybody thinks. It's very, very different. It's a lot more paperwork. It's a lot less patient interaction in some circumstances than you might think. And you don't really know. You don't know until you're in it. So you have to shadow, and you should shadow different specialties during different time periods. So a lot of people do it over summers or during weekends, during the school year, just to get it out of the way, because again, they won't look at you if you don't have any shadowing experience. It just shows that you know what you're getting yourself into. You've talked to physicians in real life, gotten an idea of what it's really like to be a doctor, all the pain and time and suffering that people put into this career. It makes sure that your choice is serious, because application committees don't have time for people who don't know if they want to do medicine because they've never seen it. So I mentioned the MCAT, the medical college admissions test. So that is an excruciatingly painful exam. It's about 7.5 hours long. It covers what feels like everything underneath the sun: biology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, psychology. There's like a reading comprehension portion. It's just painful, and it's on a computer, and it's long, and it sucks, and it takes all day. But that is scored. It's scored on a bell curve. The minimum score is a 472, and the max is a 528. Smack dab average is a 500. Usually people, obviously you want better than average, right? But a lot of times you're safe. Depending on, Harvard's not going to take you with a 500. Let's just say that, right? If you want to go to like a normal medical school, a local medical school, I don't know, just, some random school, 500s can be fine. I had around a 500. It was just right above that, and I got into my medical school without a problem, because medical schools are really good at looking at your entire application. Your GPA and your MCAT score are important, but they are not your entire application. Medical schools look at you as a whole person: your volunteer hours, your essays, your personal life. Your interviews are huge, assuming you get invited to them. I interviewed at 9 schools, and it was exhausting. You may not know this, but interview days are exactly that. They are entire days. So for all of the medical schools that I interviewed at, with the exception of Baylor, they were like 8 to 5 full days of interviewing. You tour the school, there's Q&As, you eat lunch, you meet all the other students, you have at least two interviews, each of which average about half an hour long. I mean, it's a lot. They pack a lot of stuff into these days, and they really, really get to know you, and they're watching you the whole time, not just the time that you're in the interview. And the medical schools talk to each other, so if you act up at one school, it is very likely that they will tell the other schools, hey, these guys were talking crap about y'all, oh, they were being really rude and disrespectful here, maybe they were forced to come to this interview and they don't actually want to be here, etc., etc. So, pro tip, be on your best behavior for every medical school that you go to. Earlier, I also mentioned getting your letters of recommendation. So, I would recommend doing that as early as you can, really like in the beginning of the year that you plan on applying. And get close to your professors while you are in college, because they will remember you. They'll get to know you as a human and as a person with a whole life, and not just as their biology student whose last name starts with a Z. I don't know. You'll be significant, and they can write an actual heartfelt personal letter for you that's not going to feel like some fill-in-the-blank garbage that some random student asks some random professor to do. Oftentimes those professors won't even do it, but sometimes they do. So get close with your professors, go to office hours, meet with them, ask questions, just make yourself known, and ask these professors in like February or March and say, hey, I have my resume, I have some drafts of my personal statement, and here's some of my grades, my transcript, my volunteer hours, some interesting things about me. One thing that I did is I offered all of the professors that I asked for a letter of recommendation from, I offered to sit down in the office with them whenever they wanted and do kind of like a one-on-one interview / conversation. So if there was anything that they wanted to know about me that they wanted to include in a letter, then I could provide that information for them in person, quick and easy, and they would have all the time in the world to write the letter, perfect the letter, make it professional, and also by you coming to them so early, you come off as very professional, which is always a huge bonus. One of the biggest tips that I can give that you will probably hear if you're watching many videos on this subject or reading anything about it, apply early. I think the application opens in June or something. As soon as that puppy opens, fill it out. You don't have to submit it right away. Get it going. Get your essays proofread by as many people as you can, parents, teachers, friends, everybody, because there's essays for everything. And then every school almost has, they're called secondaries. So you'll send in your primary application through the TMDSAS website for Texas, for example, which is Texas Medical and Dental School Application Service. Yeah. And all the schools that you're applying to will get that primary application. And then for a lot of schools, they will ask for what is called a secondary application, where you will fill out more specific questions that that school has for you. And most of the time, those secondary applications have more essays. Now, most of the time, you can look up these essay prompts early and get those pre-written as well. That way you're ready. As soon as these secondaries come out, boom, you're ready. You can send them out. You're one of the first names on that list. You sent it out early, and people love that. They love early applications. If you're late in the game, even as an A+ student with an amazing GPA and an amazing MCAT, if you're applying at the end of the game, oftentimes these spots fill up. There's rolling admissions, and they don't have room for you. So apply early. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the TMDSAS match system that we have here in Texas, which is so confusing. I was so lost about it. Even after I got accepted in a medical school, pretty much, and I had to talk to some woman who I met at actually UT McGovern. She came and gave a speech, and I went up to her after everybody was leaving and going home and asked her to just explain how the system actually works to me and break it down, because I could not figure it out on the internet. There's some YouTube videos and stuff that go over it, but I was still just kind of lost in it. So essentially, there's two different things in the match system. There's a pre-match and there's a match. So you apply to all these medical schools, you interview at all these schools, and then you will submit a ranking list. And like number one being, I want to go here really, really badly, all the way down to, say you interviewed at 9 schools like myself. Hey, I didn't really care for this school, I don't want to go here. You drop it as number 9, and then everything in between, right? So if you get a pre-match offer, it's essentially an early acceptance letter. So that pre-match does not lock you into that school. It is a medical school telling you, hey, we really liked you, we would love to have you. We have a spot for you for sure if you decide to choose us. So let's say I interviewed at 3 schools and I pre-matched to my second choice school. So okay, it's not my number 1 school, but I know I have a spot. I could go there. So after that, there's a time period, there's a window in which pre-match offers are sent out, and it's usually pretty early. After that, the actual matches go out. So not everybody gets pre-matched to anything. But say I got, pre-matched to my second choice school. Well, come match day, I realized, oh, my number 1 school, they didn't offer me a pre-match, but I did match there. They liked me, so I have spots at both of these schools. Because I ranked my first choice school as my first choice school and I matched there, then my application will be withdrawn from all of the schools below my first choice. So essentially what it is you pick the school that you want to go to the most. All of these schools will rank you as well, and if they have room for you, then you will match there. You like them, they like you, and you can go. Now, if you interview at 3 schools, you can match at all 3, but you will automatically be put into your first choice school because you listed them as your first choice. There is no reason for you to end up at your third choice school if you got into your first choice school, right? So they will automatically withdraw your applications from your lower choice schools. You'll go to your first choice school, and then all those spots, so they had a spot for you in your third choice school, you withdraw your application. Now somebody else can be bumped up into your spot. So this just kind of ensures that the medical school that you choose is a good fit for you, because the medical school also chooses you back. So there you have it. Those are some of the major things that I think people should know when applying for medical school, whether they're about to do it, this year, if they are doing it in 6 years, or if they are in the middle of it. You can't really prepare too early, I don't think, because it's such a long and very nitpicky process. So yeah, hopefully I cleared some things up for some people. If I made it worse, I apologize. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer anything you got, and I'll see you next time.